playoffs. What a season he's had. Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from
the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure. So the ball is out in the end zone. And it's
Wheeler finds Claude from the logo.
Edelman in motion. Edelman takes the swing pass. Edelman's going to throw. He's knocked it wide open. Amendola. Touchdown.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is our Week 11 NFL picks, and this is, I think, my favorite week so far out of the year. We have some great matchups this week, and I'm super excited to watch these. Starting off with my record, last week was really good. I went 12-2, only got a couple of games wrong, which puts me securely in second place at 98-54 overall on the season. I was watching a CBS video of these sports commentators and analysis people, and their records were like 50 and something. They were horrible. Last week they went like 5-10, so I think CBS needs to offer me a job. Oh, first off, we have Commanders at Eagles. Eagles are 7-2, Commanders are 7-3. This is the battle for first place in the NFC East. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. They are on, I believe, a 5-game winning streak, and they're playing at home. So I can understand them being the favorites. Washington is coming off of kind of a, I wouldn't say it's a tough loss because they played really well last week, but like a 1-point loss to the Steelers. So losing close games is always tough. This is one of the hard games to pick this week. And originally I was actually kind of leaning towards Washington. I just like the energy that they bring, and I think they're bound to win one of these close games. But the Eagles' defense has been playing really well, which I think benefits them playing against a rookie quarterback. And they're playing at home. Philly's not an easy place to play when you're a young team. So with that, and with Saquon Barkley just playing exceptionally well every week, that could kind of give the Eagles the benefit with the time of possession, because the Commanders are dealing with running back injuries still as well. I'll give the edge to the Eagles for this one. Would not be shocked if it went either way, but I'm just going to trust my gut here and go with the Eagles.
Me personally, I'll take the Commanders because the Eagles' wins have been not against the greatest competition recently. I mean, they beat
they beat the Cowboys, the Browns,
the Giants.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna roll with the Commanders.
Okay.
I am also going to take Washington. Not really have a good reason why, other than I really don't like the Eagles. And I think they're going to be pretty closely matched. It could go either way. It's really a coin flip game, but I'm going to take Washington to go on the road and come out with the win here. And I really think they're going to end up winning the NFC East this year, so they're going to have to beat the Eagles to do it.
All right, next up we have another great game. We have the Baltimore Ravens coming off of a very close and big win against the Bengals, going into Pittsburgh, who's coming off of a huge win against Washington that we just spoke about. Playing in Pittsburgh, Ravens are the 3-point favorites here. And this is in Pittsburgh. I'm rolling with the Steelers here. I picked them last week. I'm going to pick them again this week. They're at home, and that Steelers defense is Super Bowl level. That Steelers defense really is Super Bowl level caliber. And I think as long as the Steelers defense can get to Lamar, then I think they can disrupt the entire Ravens offense. I think this could actually be an under game. 47.5 is the over-under. I think this could hit the under. We'll see. Maybe not. But if that Steelers defense can play well, and I think it will, and Russell Wilson's been playing well, I think the Steelers take this one. The Ravens do not have a good defense, and Russ can still throw those deep balls, so I'm going with the Steelers for the upset here.
I agree with most of what you just said, but I'm going to pick the Ravens. There are two teams that I cannot pick against right now, and it's the Ravens and Lions. So I'm just going to pick the Ravens. They just look good.
The Ravens do look good, but the Steelers look really good. They have a elite defense. Russell Wilson is playing really well. I mean, he beat Washington with a beautiful throw for a touchdown there towards the end of the game. And So I think the Steelers, and they're at home. So I'm going to go with the Steelers to win this one. We forgot to do our records there, Jonathan. Jonathan, last week, not bad, 11-3.
Only one game worse than you.
Right. So he's 96-56 overall for the season, and I really had a horrible week, 8-6, my worst week yet, and so that brings me to 104-48 for this season. Still in first, but my lead is shrinking. So I'm going to have to turn it up this week.
Okay, so next up we have the Jaguars at the Lions. The Lions are 13.5-point favorites to win this game, and I will spend less than 13.5 seconds picking this game. Lions are going to win.
Yes, they are.
Yep, I'm going with the Lions because, well, they're the better team.
This shouldn't be a close game.
It's just that simple. On to the next.
Jared Goff could throw 10 interceptions in this game, and they'd still probably win.
And still win.
All right, next up we have the Rams at the Patriots. Patriots pulled through for me last week. I just love the fact that Caleb Williams has lost to the two quarterbacks who were taken right after him in the draft. So that was great to see. Drake May outplayed Caleb Williams because he is the best quarterback in the draft. And the Patriots now playing at home against the Rams, who are coming off of a rough loss for them against the Dolphins last week. They thought they had some momentum going, and they just couldn't get anything to work. So now we have this matchup where the Rams are 4.5-point favorites. Everyone probably expects me to pick the Patriots to win this game. I'm actually going to pick the Rams to win this game. It's something about the matchup. I just don't like the matchup for the Patriots. I don't know why. I feel like we're just going to have too hard of a time with Cooper Kupp and Nakua and playing against an experienced quarterback. I think the Rams are going to just beat us out in this one, unfortunately.
I'm going to pick the Rams. I feel like the Patriots are just still a bad team. And the Rams are just a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Rams. The Patriots are not a good team, but they're better than they were. And they've performed better than I expected this year, especially since Drake May's taken over at quarterback. I think he's going to be a good one. I'm not quite sure about the best quarterback in the draft. Anyway, so I'm taking the Rams to win on the road over the Patriots.
Have you guys, watching this video, you guys know I like to fish a lot. Have you ever heard of a catfish? We call those a bottom feeder fish. Here we have two bottom feeders. We have the Browns and the Saints. The Saints, first of all, the Saints ruined my parlay last week. Yes, the Saints ruined my parlay last week. They cost me $3,000. Yeah, that was the last one. I had a 20-leg parlay. I put $5 on it. All I needed was the Falcons to win, and I would have won $3,000. So the Saints ruined that for me. Thank you very much. I really don't know who's going to win this game. Saints are 1-point favorites. They're playing at home. So because they're playing at home, they have one more win than the Browns. I think they have a few more weapons, but both teams are just horrible. So we're going to go with the Saints here, coming off of a win. I don't know.
Pick one.
Saints, I guess. They look slightly better.
That's
maybe,
another coin flip
sometimes.
game. You know,
I'll just pick what you pick.
I'm taking the Saints because I don't even want to spend a lot of time on this game. It's 1 point from Vegas, so they don't even know. They're both so bad.
We have the 4-6 Colts, return of Anthony Richardson, going against the Jets, who are 3-7, and absolutely, completely did not show up against the Cardinals. That was really nice to see. I liked that game a lot last week. They're playing in New York, New Jersey. Jets are 3.5-point favorites for this one.
Really?
So originally, when I heard Anthony Richardson was starting, I actually had picked the Jets in my head. And that's because Anthony Richardson is a turnover machine and really hasn't even played that well this year at all as far as putting points up either. It's one thing to turn the ball over a lot, but to score a lot too. But he hasn't really done the second part of that. So I thought the Jets could just kind of take advantage of that and win, and that might happen. But then I just thought, you know what? What team has had an absolute just mental and physical destruction? And that's the Jets. So, you know what? I'm going to roll with the Colts for this one. As bad as the Colts are, the Jets are in complete destruction mode right now. So, I don't bet on teams that are just have this looming black cloud around them. So, we're going to go with the Colts here.
I'll take the Colts. I don't know what the Jets are doing out there on the field.
Nothing.
Ever. Any week. But I don't know what the Colts are doing either. It's kind of another bad game.
Yeah.
But,
It is another bad game.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
I'm gonna go with the Colts also on this one. The Jets are poorly coached. Their defense is absolutely horrible. And what a better team for Richardson to come back and try to right things, because they don't put any pressure on the quarterback. The Jets are just bad. I mean, their season's over. This whole experiment with Aaron Rodgers is a complete and utter failure. So they might as well just pack it in and try to get a better draft pick. Maybe if they were smart, they would draft a quarterback. With all that being said, I'm picking the Colts.
All right, so next up we have the Vikings at the Titans. The Vikings are worrying me a little bit. Last week, they played against the Mac Jones-led Jaguars, and they barely won. Sam Darnold threw like 2 or 3 interceptions in the red zone. Now, with that being said, I think the Vikings are going to win this game. And I still think the Vikings have a chance to they're still winning. So I think the Vikings have a chance to kind of right the ship and get back to how they were playing the beginning of the season. But they do need to fix this trend of red zone interceptions, because they're winning a lot of games a lot closer than they should be. Regardless, I'm still picking the Vikings to win this one against the Titans.
Yeah, the Vikings have looked shaky, but the Titans always look shaky. So I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm picking the Vikings and hoping that Sam Darnold doesn't become Sam Darnold, because he's Sam Darnold himself last week.
Yep.
And almost lost. I think what they went 12-7 or something like
Yeah.
that. It was pretty
It was ugly.
pretty embarrassing and ugly. But I think they'll, even if Sam Darnold isn't great, I think they can still beat the Titans this week. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings on the road.
All right, so next up we have the Raiders going on the road, playing against Miami. The Dolphins got their first win since Tua's return, although he tried to give himself a concussion, diving headfirst towards a defender, but he was able to dodge that one, and the Dolphins looked pretty decent. I still thought they could have played better, but they were able to kind of just take care of business against a Rams team that was kind of in a similar position to them. So I think the Dolphins win this one. They're playing a worse team than the Rams this week, so I don't see why they can't win this one as well.
Miami has won my trust back, so I'm going to pick the Dolphins because I also hate the Raiders.
So do you hate the Raiders or do you
Was
trust
that
Miami?
about trust or hate?
I do trust the Dolphins
Do
again
you?
now.
Well,
I don't, but
good
okay.
for you. I don't trust the Dolphins.
More than I did before.
I don't trust them. I don't trust Tua. But I think they're a better team than the Raiders. So, and they're at home. So I gotta pick the Dolphins to win this one at home.
Yeah. All right, so now we have Packers and Bears.
Oh baby.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
the Bears. They haven't scored a touchdown in how many drives now? There's whatever the stat is. It's not good if you're a Bears fan. Not even close. The Packers have historically owned the Bears, and they should continue to do so this week. Coming off of a bye week, getting a little healthier. The Bears, I would hate to be a Bears fan. They had a winning record at one point. They were like 4-2 or something like that. And they just lost to the Patriots, like 19-3. How embarrassing. 9 sacks in one game. Caleb Williams is not confident. You thought he was all confident walking out there, getting picked first overall. He is not confident. He is too afraid to throw the ball. Yeah, Packers should win this one.
Yeah,
Packers are gonna win.
Yeah. I am also going to take the Packers, just because they're a better team. The Bears, all I can say is, I'm going to look in the camera and say, Bears, you had the number 1 pick. You could have had Jaden Daniels. How
Or
you
Bo Nix.
feeling about that now?
Or Drake May.
Or Bo Nix.
Right. But no, you took Caleb Williams. You guys are a dumpster fire. Fire your whole upper management team and start over again. But I'm taking the Packers. They still own you.
All right, next up we have a Falcons team who I'm very bitter against. Like I said, last week cost me $3,000. I'm talking to you, Kirk Cousins. And they're playing against the Broncos, who I was very impressed with the Broncos last week. They were one block field goal away from beating the Chiefs.
Yep. Couple missed blocking assignments, and the Chiefs could have had their first loss.
Yeah. Broncos defense has been playing well all year except for that game against the Ravens. They've really been, the team has been playing pretty well. They're at home, and I'm surprised they are 2.5-point favorites in this one as well. So that was a little surprise there. I'm going with the Falcons, but I'm not putting it in the parlay. Falcons, I think, are going to win this one just based on their experience. I think this is going to be a little bit of a bounce-back week for them. Sometimes those divisional games, like against the Saints, they can just get a little out there, but this is not a divisional game. I think the Broncos could put up a good fight, and they may win this one. I think it's a low-scoring game, but I'm just going to take the Falcons. I still have a little more trust in them here.
You know the drill.
I know the drill. Go
Taking
ahead.
the Falcons.
Yeah.
But I would like to see the Broncos win because that would mean we swept the NFC South.
Well, I'm going with the Broncos.
Ooh.
They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
Their quarterback
Mm-hmm.
has been playing really well. They have a very good receiver. And the Falcons, they're hot and cold. So going on the road, I'm not sure they can beat the Broncos.
They can.
And so I'm going to pick the Broncos to win at home.
I wouldn't be surprised if the
Somehow.
Broncos win this one. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm a little surprised they're 2.5-point favorites, but I wouldn't be shocked if they won this one at all. Next up, we have Seahawks at 49ers. Last time they played was in Seattle, and the Niners won pretty handily. I don't have any reason to believe it's going to be different this time, so I'm just going to roll with the Niners here. I think it could very well be a similar game as to earlier in the season.
Yeah. Blowout 49ers.
I'm going to take the 49ers also because they're getting healthy. The Seahawks they're on a downward slope. So I just think the 49ers will be able to beat them. They're at home. So probably cruise to victory.
All right, that brings us to what I think should be the game of the week, and what they should have done is put in prime time.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the 9-0 Chiefs. Some people are saying the luckiest team in the NFL, going against the 8-2 Bills. This matchup is always one of the best matchups. This game is always a great game. Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen, always fireworks. Bills are at home. They're 2-point favorites in this one. Everyone's taking the Bills to win this game. I think the Bills have been playing better than the Chiefs overall this season. However, every time the Chiefs are underdogs in a matchup, which is not very often, every time, at least last year, and every time they were on the road against a team with a winning record as well last year, the Chiefs won. And historically, the Chiefs have been pretty much owning the Bills. There was that one game, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs win this one.
I'm going to do something I haven't done since week 1, and that's actually pick against the Chiefs. I think
Say
the
it.
Bills usually beat them in the regular season matchups, just never in the playoffs. But it is the regular season right now. So I'm going to pick the Bills at home.
This is another really good game. They should have flexed the Cowboys out of Monday Night Football so they're not embarrassing themselves in front of everyone. Like the Giants did in Germany last week. This is going to be such a good game. But I said way back in week 1, and I got to stick with it. I'm not picking against the Chiefs until they lose. Because no matter what, it's all about the W's, and they somehow find a way to win. Even though Mahomes is not playing as good as he has in the past. And believe me, I'd love to see Buffalo win this one. But I have to go with the Chiefs. Until they lose, I'm picking the Chiefs.
All right. Interesting. I was wondering how these picks were going to go down. All right, so we have one more really good matchup this week. We have Sunday Night Football. We have the 4-6 Bengals coming off of a heartbreaking loss, going up against the 6-3 Chargers. Chargers are at home. They are 1.5-point favorites here. A lot of people picking the Bengals to win this one, and I get it. They just dropped, 34 points on the Ravens. The offense has been playing extremely well. I am going with the Chargers here. The Chargers have a very, very good defense, and their offense has been playing efficient. I think all around, the Chargers are just a better team than the Bengals, and unfortunately, I don't think Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase are going to be able to carry them to victory against this Chargers team. This is a very well-rounded Chargers team, and I think the roster is just too good for the Bengals. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Ja'Marr Chase will have 3 more touchdowns, and the Bengals might be able to win a game here, but I'm going to take the Chargers team. They're 6-3 for a reason, and they just have the better roster, I think. I think the Chargers win this one.
I do not think they have a better roster. I think they have a better defense, but roster in general, no. And I can't bring myself to pick the Chargers to go 7-3. That's just nasty. So I'm going to pick the Bengals.
I am going to pick the Chargers. They're at home. They're very well coached. They're a good team. The Bengals defense is just awful. If they had any kind of a defense, the Bengals would be fighting for first place, and you'd be talking about Joe Burrow being MVP because he's having a phenomenal year. Wow, he's carrying the whole entire team. He can't overcome the defense.
Last up, we have the Battle of Texas. We have Houston at Dallas. Last year, this would have been a really good game. This year, not so much. The Cowboys have packed it in for the year. I'm sure, they should be making lots of changes in the offseason, but who knows. Texans are coming off of actually a really rough loss themselves because they really had it. They had it in the bag against the Lions. They should have won. They had a lead. They had 5 turnovers from the Lions, and they just handed it right back. They gave them a little bit of hope, and they let them back in the game, and they lost. So, that being said, the Texans still should easily win this game against the Cowboys, who had 45 passing yards last week. I don't see them being as much of a threat, but the Texans need a win, and I think they get this one here to wrap up the week.
Yeah, I don't think the Cowboys stand a chance. Houston is the better city. So,
What?
Say better city?
Better city?
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I hate the
I
Mavericks
don't
too.
know about that.
I just don't like Dallas really. I mean,
You've never been to Dallas.
Cowboys are fine.
Or Houston.
Nope.
You've never been to Texas.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
All right.
But,
That'll
yeah.
be a clean sweep because I'm going to pick the Texans in this. Can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They can't stop anything.
Can't pass.
They can't move the ball. The offense is horrible. So, anyways, the Cowboys, they got to play out the rest of the games. That's just part of the deal. And I'm sure they're going to have a new coaching staff next year. If any team is looking for an owner, we'll trade Jerry Jones to you cheap. So let us know because he's the biggest problem on the team right now.
And week hopefully full of good games. So let us know what you think down in the comments, and we'll see you next time.